What's Cooking America. Today we're going to make pastry dough for the pie. We're going to use vegetable shortening. The shortening will make a flakier pie crust, and we're going to make a 2-crust pie. So you're going to need 2/3 cup and 2 tablespoons of chilled shortening that you're going to want to cut into some small pieces. You can use a pastry blender or 2 knives. Add to that 2 cups of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. Now take your 2 knives and just cut through the pastry, flour, and salt. You want to do this until the consistency of small peas. Alright, it looks like we're getting really close to sort of a pea-sized consistency. The reason we do that is so that we don't have to handle the dough as much, because the less you handle the dough, the softer it will be. The more you handle it, it's going to make the dough tough. So now that we've reached our consistency, we're going to start adding ice cold water. It's about 4 to 6 tablespoons. So we're going to just add a little to start with. I'm going to start with 4. I'm going to use a knife and move it around so we can start forming this together. You want to get just enough water so that it does form together, and not too much so that it's too doughy. We want it to be more of a drier crust. We're just going to carefully turn it together. And when we get to a certain point, it's going to get our hands in there. Start seeing if we can form this. Just a little bit more water. See how we can start pressing it together? So we're about ready to go ahead and turn this out on the board and start rolling it out. Okay, we're ready to turn the dough out onto the pie sheet. I'm using a plastic pie sheet here, which gives you a guide of how big around your pie pan is, so you know how far out to roll your dough. I've been putting some flour on this, and this will keep it from sticking to the dough. I'm going to also flour my rolling pin. And I've divided the crust up into 2 balls, one for the top and bottom. And we're going to go ahead and flatten it out here and get it started. Remember, the less you handle the dough, the better. Keeps it from getting tough. So we're going to pat this out and start our circular shape and start gently rolling out from the center to the sides. And if you keep rotating the pie sheet around, then that will help keep it more circular as you push out. And it's okay to go ahead and just pinch your sides in if it starts cracking at all. Roll it out, and it's starting to stick a little to my rolling pin, so I'm going to add some more flour. You can put some flour on the top. And see how nice and smoothly it's rolling out for us. And we're getting pretty close to the size here of the bottom of my pie pan. Let's check it out. All you need to do is take your pie plate and turn it upside down. We should probably go just a little bit bigger so we have some to pinch down on the sides. Let's do some pinching together here. Fix some of the shape problem we have here. I'm just going to take some thick ends off and fill in those little sections. Pie plate. That's just about right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to fold this up in half. I'm going to put the pie plate here underneath and just fold the crust back over the top. Drop it in the pie plate. And there we have the bottom crust. We'll trim that later after we get all of the filling in. And if you remember, we're making the bursting blueberry pie, but here's our bottom crust ready to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just trim and shape the crust a bit so it fits in the pan and looks nice. And I'm going to press the fork into the bottom of the pie crust, because what we're going to do is we're going to pre-bake the crust for like 5 minutes, and this will keep it from bubbling up. That way, when we put the filling into the pie crust, it'll keep the bottom of the crust from getting soggy. So I'm going to just slip this into the preheated oven, which we set at 400 degrees, for about 5 minutes.